righty. Good morning, good evening, good day, and good night. Whichever it is, wherever you are in the world. All right. Hope you are all doing well today. Oh, excuse me. My nasal congestion is hitting me hard today for some reason. Holy. Alrighty. So, today, we are doing pretty much the same thing as yesterday. We are continuing on from our little Ranger redevelopment. Ranger rewrite, if you will. Where we are exploring the shortcomings of the Ranger. Why it has those shortcomings. And we're going to see if we can kind of find out what we can keep, what we need to get rid of, and see how it all kind of goes. So, the long and short of it, of course, is that the Ranger just doesn't scale well. In fact, it scales so poorly that it actually starts to fall behind as by the time you hit the level 10-ish, compared to a lot of other kind of characters. So, with it being underwhelming, we're going to try and make it a little bit better, but not at low level. Its low level is fine. In fact, arguably, it has some of the best damage output with its utilities, considering that it still has spell casting, and it still has third highest number of skills in the game, beat out only, at least as a base, beat out only by Bard and Rogue. And Bard also has restrictions on some of its restriction on specifically some of its additional stuff, which is like instruments and stuff like that, which is generally not important, but good for flavor. So, early on, we don't need a whole lot of changes. We really don't. My goodness. In fact, the only changes we did early on was to two things. Favorite enemy, in which we made it so that your seek and study actions are rolled with advantage against a pair of favored enemies for creature types. And that's it. It's not insanely powerful. It's useful. But I really liked the favored enemy feature. And with the way that they set up the actions for study and seek, they make it really easy to kind of just apply advantage to those things. So, and for those of you that are wondering, let's see here. I need to adjust this. There we go. That's a little better. Let's see here. Where was I? Right. The actions. That's good. Here we go. Specifically, the search action is a search, no, seek and study. It's supposed to be search and study, not seek and study. My bad. Search lets you use insight, medicine, perception, and survival on creatures. And then, of course, study, which is the arcana, history, investigation, nature, and religion. So, basically it lets you have advantage on intelligence and wisdom-based skills for the purposes of those creatures and those creatures only. Cheating academically is so rewarding. I mean, it does give you the grade, but it doesn't mean that you'll actually learn anything. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. The thing is like we don't know how much longer that's actually going to be around for. The main thing here is whether or not you're going to actually be able to learn anything and be able to use it later. Short-term pleasure for long-term pain is good trade in short-term. I mean, yes. However, consequences will catch up to you. All right. Let's see here. So this needs to be fixed. So it's not seek. It's I actually already already forgot it. Search. That's what it was. There we go. Search and study actions. All right. Bear in mind, I'm not actively against using ChatGPT. It has its uses. Everything has its use. The main thing that matters is whether or not you're using something as a crutch when you don't need to. Because if you use it as a crutch, you're not gonna be able to walk when the time matters. Okay. Minor benefits of travel, nothing major. Basically, it gives you some extra action options while traveling. It doesn't prevent you from being lost. It doesn't prevent you from engaging in other activities or anything like that. But you have expertise in survival, so the odds of you being in a bad spot while in these terrains are already pretty bad and pretty low anyways. So, no worries there. Sacrifice 1 expertise for getting evasion. Which I think the ranger should get evasion. They used to. Do the monks get evasion into 5.5? Let's see here. They do, and they get at 7 as well. Okay. Ranger for this for 5.5. 11 is the subclass features. Okay. So This is going to be a weird conversation for this one here, but I think it's fine leaving it as is. Relentless Hunter. Now here's the real question. Regardless of whether or not you still have to concentrate on Hunter's Mark, Relentless Hunter needs a better use than just, even if we don't, like, it needs to be just better than Can't Break Concentration taking damage. It's bad. Nobody wants it. I think a better way of putting this is, your Hunter's Mark no longer, your Hunter's Mark, because you're never casting at higher levels. You just aren't. Your Hunter's Mark being... Okay. When you cast Hunters... When you cast... from your favored enemy, your favorite enemy feature, the spell's duration is, and at 13th level, I believe you have access to 4th level magic. That's exactly when we get access to 4th level. Okay. So, do we just... Yeah. Is... feature. The spell is cast at the highest level slot you can cast. There. Now that's not that big of a deal at 13 in of itself, obviously, because that's just increasing the duration from 1 hour to 8 hours. And then, of course, in a few levels, I want to say like 4 levels. Yeah, 4 levels, it goes to 24 hours as opposed to 8. This in of itself is not going to be a big deal, but I'm going to put a little thing here. Can I do this? No, that's just code. Okay. But I'm gonna put, what can I use as an asterisk? Because I can't use an actual asterisk. Can I use carrot? I'll use carrot. The thing about this is relevant to subclass. Actually, we should just add brackets. Relevant to a subclass. So I think I'm going to put in either some free castings or some castings of spells in subclasses based off of your favorite enemy slots. Basically giving you an extra like small spell pool of some kind, or some sort of feature that you can utilize those features for, so that, you know, when you cast is so that we can actually utilize the higher levels of spell casting from Hunter's Mark. Though I kind of think I might want to put this earlier, like maybe at 10. I'm not really particularly concerned about where I place things at this very moment. Like placing this with 10 or with 9, or just placing it at 11 when we get the subclass feature. That might be a good spot to put it too. Just get a subclass feature and then just go, hey, so you know that feature that you just got that makes it so that you can use your favorite enemy spell slots for, you know, the subclass feature, and now you're concerned about running out. Well, guess what? You can cast Hunter's Mark for 8 hours a day now, and you can't. And as of level 10, you can no longer lose concentration on it, or you no longer are required to have concentration on it. So it's so there's a good like little 1, 2, 3 kind of there. Okay. I'm just glad I didn't send that all over my keyboard. Oh, okay. All right, we got Nature's Veil. Nature's Veil. Listen, we can literally just change this to like even the better version of this, in my opinion. Did you hear about the dinosaur that got arrested? It was ST Rex charged with small arms possession. I I approve. I approve the dad level of pun. I feel like an energy vampire when I tell them. That is the exact reason why we tell them. All right. As a bonus action, you can give yourself invisibility. I think we actually need to just abandon this specifically. Well, if we're going to do this, we're going to just change this. You can cast the invisibility spell once per day. The invisibility spell. You regain use of this feature when you finish a long rest. this is just a makes much more sense. It's still boring and dull. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Being able to just cast invisibility on yourself as a bonus action is very good. And oftentimes, you only need it for a round, yes. But, I don't know. I feel like being able to cast invisibility on yourself, which I believe it has a duration of, like... the spell invisibility, I believe, lasts for an hour? Yeah, this makes it way more useful. You can do a lot with an hour of invisibility. Like, this is just a straight up better version of this. Now, the other thing that we can also do is, and I'm a big lover of this feature, is just bring back hide in plain sight. Right? Like, let's just... Like, let's just bring back hide in plain sight. Just plain and simple. And... Right, so, like, you can spend a minute creating a camouflage of yourself. You must have access to fresh dirt, mud, soot, and other naturally occurring materials within which that you create a camouflage. Once you are camouflaged this way, you can hide by pressing yourself up against a solid surface, such as a tree or wall. Such as tree, wall, or even ground. That is at least as tall and as wide as you are. You gain plus 10 dexterity stealth checks as long as you remain there without moving or taking actions. Once you move or take actions or a reaction, you must camouflage yourself again to gain this benefit. I'm gonna change this. We're gonna combine this with vanish a little bit. Alrighty. Spend an action. You must spend an action to hide. Well, or reaction. We're also just gonna add vanish to this. You can use a hide. You can take the hide action as a bonus action on your turn. Also, you can't be tracked by non-magical means unless you leave a trail. Like, this just makes sense to hide in plain sight. But we're going to change this to... from hide in plain sight to... What is that old ability called? Not hide in plain sight, but there's an older one. I guess it was hide in plain sight originally. But, unseen. So, I mean, this just combines camouflage and hide in plain sight. But I'm looking at sticking it like maybe at a slightly later level than 10 when it originally was given. It's cool though. Okay, let's think about this a little bit here. Oh, I see. Interesting. Wait, experimentation. So if I do that, oh, you can just make everything break down. Be if you put one space at the front, it lets you create a. I don't even remember what those are actually called, but breakdowns. Cool. Learn something new every day. Okay, the other thing that we also need to make sure that we're doing, I need to break out the paladin here. And this is more important for when we're shifting things along the way. Things that need to be like, obviously more powerful. Like, so we can kind of go, okay, this sort of like power needs to be here. This sort of power upgrade needs to be here. The paladin and the ranger need to be similar in their method of growth, not necessarily in the actual type of growth, but similar in their growth track would be a good way of putting it, I think. Okay, once you're careful, you can press yourself high against the surface of a tree as well as you are. As well as you are. This allows you to take the hide action if you without any cover. I gotta double check the definition of cover here for 2025 here. Cover. Cover. Hide. Let's just check hide. Hide. You try to conceal yourself, so you must succeed a DC 15 stealth check while you are heavily obscured or behind 3/4 cover or total cover. You must also you must be out of the enemy's line of sight. If you see a creature, you can discern whether it can see you. On a successful check, you have the invisibility condition. Make note those which is you see for your you stop being hidden immediately after any of the following occurs. You make a sound louder than a whisper, an enemy finds you, make an attack roll, or you cast a spell with a verbal component. Okay. So, specifically, without any without being heavily jeez, evilly. I don't know why this word is hurting my brain. Heavily obscured, without being heavily obscured, having cover, without being heavily obscured, any form of cover, actually, or any form of cover. If you had broken line of sight when hiding. When taking the hide action, you hide action, so long as you don't what is it? Those are the list of things. As long as you don't make a sound louder than a whisper, and then you find whisper, make an attack roll or cast a spell with a verbal component. Hold on. So long as you had broken line of sight when you took the hide action, a creature does not see you unless you do. Doesn't see you. So long as you don't make a sound louder than a whisper, make an attack roll, or cast a spell with a verbal component. Cast a spell with a verbal component, or move. Make an attack roll, cast a spell with a, or move from your position. Now, is being observed a term? No. Observed is not a proper term. Okay. Is it... Is it just search? Is it, maybe it's detect. No. No. There's no official... Is there no official term for, observing someone? Is it just the action that you take and that's it? Okay. Interesting. That feels like an oversight. It's not that big. It's not that bad. We can get rid of that. You don't need. They don't need the +10. This lets them just hide wherever they want. That's pretty good as it is. Get rid of the +10. Give them the bonus action hide, which is not going to be that crazy good in combat because they already can't like utilize that particularly well because they want to use their bonus action for so many other things anyways. So I don't think that's a huge deal. but it does let them do the attack and then hide back into the shadows. So it's like if you have like the rogue and the ranger going off on their own little adventure, this is very useful, especially at higher levels. So I think that's a fine use of that. Precise Hunter. Okay, this was advantage on Hunter's Mark targets. We can make Hunter's Mark better here. I don't know how much better, because at level 10-ish, like somewhere around level 9 to 11, somewhere in there. Either 9 or 10, probably, because 9 is a subclass feature, which, in my humble opinion, in most cases, not all, in most cases needs to be a damage upgrade, not equivalent, but substantial enough that we can kind of point it at it and go a damage upgrade, kind of like how the fighter gets one more extra attack, how the monk gets one more extra attack through their flurry, how the paladin gets an extra damage die on, I believe, all their attacks, or is it just smites? They just deal an extra D8 damage. So we need something equivalent to that at level 10. And I'm okay with tying it to Hunter's Mark. I don't have a problem with that. I actually kind of like the idea of using Hunter's Mark. Maybe not in its base state, but having Hunter's Mark be a thing that you use as the class progresses. I think that's a fine structure, but it needs to not be reliant on it entirely. Like, you need to be able to do other things too. The ultimate goal is to try and keep this as close to the functional design, or the main design space that 5.5 is trying to push it into. So I don't want to be in a position where it's like, oh, well, we could do this, and the class looks nothing like it used to. That's not helpful or useful. We're going to get rid of this. Now, we can do something like with the mark, such as like having a rider would be good, and it needs to be a good rider though. Adding advantage is, if we're gonna add advantage to Hunter's Mark, it needs to be something like level 7. Maybe not exactly level 7, because level 7 I believe is a subclass feature, but it needs to be in that kind of time frame. What did they used to have at level 17? Nothing. They used to get nothing. That's incredible. No wonder 17 felt so bad for Rangers. They got 5th level spell slots. Okay. Well, I'm glad they recognize that you need something at every level for the half-casters, because getting a spell level upgrade was just not good enough. I think the Paladins are in the same boat there. No, Paladins do actually only get nothing at 13 and 17. And that actually makes a lot of sense, because their smites are really... Because 4th level spells and 5th level spells for Paladins are really good. And their smites are just absurdly more bad. Like, their smite spell options are just massively better for those levels. All right, I will be right back.
How big is that?
You run. Come here. No, 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 no. Are you? What the hell are you doing? What the hell you think you're doing? You're not supposed to go on my keyboard. You know that. How shit gets broken. I can't make money if you do that. Then you can't get food. How does that sound? Don't like that idea, do you? I don't think he broke any. Oh. I just knocked my pop filter down is all. There we go. All right. stop running. Okay. Now then, where were we? Let's see here. All right, Precise Hunter does imply that it's an accuracy thing, which I'm not against. The problem is that Hunter's Mark is just... Or not Hunter's Mark. Advantage is just so prevalent. It's so easy to get advantage all the time on attack rolls. Like, let's look at, Actually, yeah, let's look at the weapon list. Weapons. So, weapons that you will be typically using on the Ranger would be longbow. Depending upon you saying, you might be able to get away with the musket or the pistol, but we're going to assume the longbow. Maybe the heavy crossbow if you want to go with the crossbow expert, which isn't a bad thing. It's an extra damage size up on your damage dice. That's pretty good. And it lets you go for the great weapon style as well. Although longbow lets you do that too. So you could be going for that, which gives you push and slow. Is it medium or size or smaller? Large or smaller? You push it. Okay, that's pretty good. Slow is also a 10-foot speed reduction. That's also really, really good. Let's see here. If you're not doing the longbow, you're probably going for the two-weapon fighting style, because the two-weapon fighting gets to utilize the benefits of the... what's the word I'm looking for here? Gets to use the benefits of Hunter's Mark more often. So you're probably going to go Scimitar for the Nick property. And then, where's the one... probably something with Vex, which is the short sword. You could also just dump the benefits of the longbow, forget the slow, and go for the short bow. Sacrifice a damage size on the die, which is not that big of a deal. It's 1 extra damage on average over a lifetime, and instead just get the Vex and make it so that your next attack is always at advantage. So you get 1 regular attack and 1 attack at advantage. And if you have the archery fighting style, you're basically never gonna miss. And what's 1 damage when, you know, you're already got the two-handed property? Now he doesn't have heavy, so you don't get the benefit of a great weapon master. So you're giving up some damage overall, but you're getting advantage over it. So you're focusing more on making sure that your shots actually hit. And I want that to be like a real option for players. Like, it's like, you know, there is a benefit to going short bow over longbow. You get less damage output, yes, but you get the benefit of having advantage on your second attack all the time. That's assuming that you hit with your first one. And if you have archery, your odds of hitting are pretty good. So, I think overall you do less damage, but you're always hitting. So, you know, if you're looking to go more like the Swift Quiver build, I think this is actually an insanely good build, because it makes you extraordinarily accurate. That isn't to say, where is the sharpshooter class feat, or sharpshooter feature? Lets you ignore covers and things like that. Lets you fire in melee. And yeah, so like you're trading off, you can get this no matter what anyway. There isn't really anything that benefits you for having a smaller weapon in this case, but you can make the argument that having advantage earlier on from that is better. So it's not a bad option. This needs to be something different. I don't mind the advantage on Hunter's Mark. I just mind that it's at level 17 where it's no longer relevant. Like, we can make the argument that it goes in at like level 5 or something, but that's not good. But that's a bad spot for it. Honestly, it'd probably be something like level 7. But level 7 is a subclass feature. The only place I can see us possibly slotting something like that in without it giving up something that is really, really good is level 9. And at level 9, we're looking at expertise and possibly evasion. We could push evasion to level 10 because level 10 is originally the defensive feature, and then put 9 in with the advantage, but even that's kind of meh. Although I do like if we put it with something else at that level. We could also make it so that if it lacks the heavy weapon property, it does more damage. But I don't like that because it means that you're tucking a feature behind not using heavy weapons, specifically the longbow or the heavy crossbow, or the two-handed weapon fighting. And I don't want to do that because that forces you into a weird position. Again, it providing advantage isn't bad. It's just bad that it's that late. We could also do something like while you have advantage, you get something else. Actually, that's an idea. A creature that is affected is affected by your hunter's mark. Is affected by your hunter's mark. Something happens. When attacking a creature that's affected by your hunter's mark, is it at advantage or with advantage? When you have advantage. When you have advantage when attacking a creature that's affected by your hunter's mark, something happens. Amelia, I think is how you say that. Melee? No, hold on. Amelia. Is it Amelia? Words are difficult. I'm doing well today. Thank you for asking. I didn't see that pop up on my thing though. Is my alerts not working correctly again? Or maybe I just missed it. Also, my camera is being a jerk. There we go. Oh, no, didn't quite. I had it in like the perfect spot earlier. Now it's being a jerk. Got it. It's not. It's being difficult. Okay. Rush. There we go. The great game I love. The great game I love you're streaming. How long have you been streaming? A while. I don't actually remember how long it's been. A couple of years, probably. On and off. More of a hobby than anything. Favorite games with your hobbies? Mostly D&D, though I do like a lot of RPGs in general. Let's see here. Where was I? Alright. Advantage when attacking creatures that affect you. Perfect. Rocket League and Marvel Rivals. Nice. I'm bad at both. Although I might be okay at Marvel Rivals. You can play non-shooting characters, so I might actually be okay at that one. I can't do Rocket League though. I can't do it. Oh, nice. See sketching artists. Okay, that's awesome. One moment, please. All right. Everything want to break, I guess. That's weird. All right, there we go. Let everything catch back up. What the hell, man? Okay. I think we're back to where we're supposed to be. All right, looks like we're good. Not sure what happened there. What do you think about emotes and sub batches? Not a priority. Like, I've made a few, but they're not a priority for me. Okay, why is my camera struggling so much? Grab this. All right, there we go. Then I plug this in because it's dying. If I need any form of art done, I have a number of artists I'm already looking to pour money into if I ever do. Okay. So there's a number of things we can do with this. We can, if anytime that you hit something that you have advantage on, which can be often, especially once we add something like, for example, hide in plain sight, or unseen as we've been calling it. Hide action is a bonus action. So like, and if you do it like an ambush, or if someone puts greater invisibility on you, why is this struggling so much? Yeah. Here. Hold on. This is my camera's freaking out. Oh, yeah. Is it because it's doing a bunch of auto? Let's get rid of this automatic stuff here. It's struggling so much. There we go. Maybe if I turn off auto adjusting. That'll help it a bunch. Frig. No, it's still skipping. Why is it skipping so much? It's still weird. You used to be able to set frame rate. Can I change that now? No. No, it's just being difficult. What if we just do this? Pause the camera. Oh, here we go. There. Wait, does it just pause the whole thing? Okay, let's try that. Maybe that'll help it. Just reset the camera a little bit. Nope. Still occasionally stuttering. I don't know why it's doing that, but whatever. I give up. All right. Let's see here. It would help if I could actually. That's a little better. All right, let's see. Now then. When you have advantage on attacking creatures that is affected by your hunter's mark, let's say. Can I just reset this camera here? Deactivate, activate. Buffering. Stable buffering. Maybe that'll help a little bit. I don't know if it did or not. Oh, it actually seems to be working a little better. Well, anyways. Advantage on when you have advantage on an attack against a creature that is affected by your hunter's mark. It doesn't need to be damage though. Like I don't need it to be damage. It can be something else, like a pinning shot or something like that. Like something that just screams hunter though. It doesn't need to be damage. Damage is not a problem for the ranger overall. Like it doesn't need to be damage. It just you just need an incentive to keep hunter's mark going. Is this where we maybe stick the D10? Like the D10 upgrade on the Hunter's Mark dice? I think this is a bad way of doing it because it's conditional damage dice increase in size. You do both, so you still have to have both. And I want it to be something that doesn't already get covered by a weapon property. I don't want it to do max damage. That's dumb. Does something than damage. I don't know what, but something other than damage. I don't know what, but something. Something other than damage. Level 20. Level 20, we need something kind of crazy. Like something that maybe not something like the paladin necessarily, but we need something really, really fun. The paladin has always has a really cool capstone. The rogue, if my memory serves, has like they get like a pocket 20 or something like that. Yeah, they have. If you fail a test, you can automatically set the roll into a 20 once per short or long rest. Like that's cool, right? It's like, oh, I failed. No, no, actually, I critically succeed. Like that's cool. Paladins get Nova forms. I believe sorcerers just get like sorcery points or something like that. Yeah, you get to use a meta magic feature without spending sorcery points on it. Like you just get to meta magic for free. That's cool. Like you get really cool stuff. Let's look at. Let me take a look at. Ranger for 4th edition. Because there's a lot of like dope stuff in 4th edition. Let's see here. Epic tier feats. Blind fight, bludgeon master, correcting aim. Dark fire warrior, bunch of epic recovery, expert skirmisher. We could add some skirmish oriented stuff. 21st level. Bonuses to attack rolls from running attack is +2 and step +1. That's kind of whatever. Invigorating exploit. What the hell is this? Power that you know, you gain the invigorating keyword. So if you gain a level, you can choose. Okay, so what does the invigorating keyword do? Okay, endurance, temporary hit points equals your constitution modifier. Yeah, so that's just basically whenever you use a certain power, you get some defense, whatever. Let's go look at like Ranger Paragon paths or something. Pack runner. Interesting. I imagine these are all like subclass ideas at this point. Yeah. Untraceable, unfed stride. Imagine it just makes it so that you ignore the effects of difficult terrain. Yeah. Yeah, remember, these used to be epic level features. 21st level plus. And we just hand this stuff out like it's candy now. Slashing Storm. JCU takes damage equal to your wisdom modifier if you hit a creature during your last turn with your melee attack. Oh, that's cool. Paragon tier feats. Let's see here. Maybe there's something a little bit more interesting here. Unexpected escape. Is that just like an ability to get out of dodge, basically? Flexibility escape. Whether you successfully escape, you can shift 2 turns. Yeah, it's basically a means of tumble. Okay. We already move faster too, so we don't need anything regarding that. Oops. Didn't mean to close that. So, let's see here. There's a lot of like small benefits. Maybe we just look at the powers instead. Something that is really cool to use. Oh gosh. They can't be just like archery or like it can't be just weapon. It has to be every weapon based or non-weapon based. But I want something that's just like Deadeye shot or something like that. Something that fits the I'm just better kind of thing. Like, adamant recovery. Jeez. Cleave foot, fierce ghost hit the dire. Flickering blade. Wolf hollow strike. Nonchalant collapse. It just sounds funny. Nonchalant collapse. Partial weapon melee. Needs to be wielding 2 weapons, 1 creature strength 4, dude. With your offhand weapon, you casually send the foe to the floor. Oh, okay. Incapacitating confrontation, deadly sidestep. When your enemy approaches, you deliver a single deadly thrust and then twist aside. Allow your foe's momentum to send the creature tumbling. You slay a target a number of squares equal to 1 plus your wisdom modifier and knock it prone. Oh, okay. It's an interesting idea. Like, I want this to be like a skill that is like along the ideas of I'm just better. All right. Let's. Let's go with like Paragon. Paragon Hunter. You can do something like we can do something like actually I need to check something here. We need to check epic boons. Epic boon feats. There we go. Let's try a few things here. So we need to go through the epic boons list and see if there's anything that I need to make sure that isn't being stepped on by what is this? Grim Hollow? Grim Hollow Player's Guide. Okay. That's relatively new as well. Okay. I need to make sure that there isn't anything that is just going to get stepped on by the epic boon. Like the True Sight one, for example, you just have True Sight out to 60. So like I can't step on that, for example. Boon of Skill just gives you proficiency in all skills. So I can't use something like that. Like that, I need to pick epic boons that are just not going to get scooped up anyway. What's this one? Forgotten Realms, House of Favorite. Okay, that's also there. Poison Mastery, Perfect Fight. Perfect Flight. You just gain a fly speed. Magic Resistance. Boon of Fate. Okay. It doesn't appear to be anything for... What's Boon of the Wilds? Gives you a hybrid form, gain 25 temporary hit points at the end of each of your turns. If you have no temporary hit points, gain 10. While you are in hybrid form, you have no temporary hit points. You have advantage on attack rolls. Interesting. That's a weird one. I understand that it's Grim Hollow, but still, that's a weird one. Oh, you have to have a Lycan transformation. Okay, that makes sense. Benefits. Let's just make a list of like various things. It doesn't even have to be like a state. It can just be like you just get a bunch of flat stuff. So for example, if you roll, actually, you go first in the turn order. There, you just go first in the turn order. Doesn't matter. You just go first. If you... Or... At the start of the first round of combat, after initiative is rolled, You may make a single. You may take an action, bonus action, or move up to your speed. So you get like a pseudo turn at the beginning. Something like that. We could do something along the lines. Oops. We could do something along the lines of oh. Hold on. Mark. And miss the attack. You may once per turn hit instead. Just turn it. When you would miss, you just hit instead. You have advantage, you hit instead. Per turn, per round. Just idea forming. Just ideas. Let's see here. There's some other things here. This feels more. No. That's more like an epic boon. Like just knowing things. Yeah. Opportunity attacks against you are made with disadvantage. Just full stop. This is all and slash or. And slash or. This is like just a list of ideas. Let's see here. At the start of your turn, you automatically take the search action. Search action. No action required. I feel like that's something that you could really put on like a wizard, actually. You can take the study action. No action required. That'd be like a cool subclass idea, actually, for the wizard. Like, that's a piece of tech that actually is completely unexplored. Just give the wizard like an automatic intelligence check against whatever creature. Same thing with the ranger, right? Give them an automatic search check. They're perceiving the battlefield. Because if there's anybody that's gonna find someone, it's gonna be the ranger, right? It wouldn't be the druid. It wouldn't be the cleric. Like, at least not on a class level. Maybe on a personality level, but not on a class level. That's an interesting idea. I kind of like that idea, actually. Yeah, I can do that before I leave. Let's see here. Let's see. What are some other cool things here? Ranger's Resurgence. With grace of immortals, you move where you will and strike hard, leaving yourself room for others. Or after attack, you can shift your speed to expend all the counter attacks. But with the attack, you instead choose deal 4W extra damage. I don't want to give them like a skill thing, because that's the rogues thing. Like, I was thinking like maybe we give them like just 3 successes on wisdom-based skill checks, but that feels dumb. I like the automatic check. That's really good. They're gonna have expertise in things. They don't really need the auto success. That feels like a bad idea. Also, let's see here. I mean, this is not a bad set of stuff. Like, let's just say we get rid of this. You go first in turn order. Like, that's pretty cool. You just go first. Opportunity attacks against you have disadvantage. And at the start of the turn, you automatically succeed. You automatically take a search action. No action required. That kind of works, actually. Like, you just go first. So if you're playing, like, you bonus action, target somebody, attack them, and, like, they're already, like, you immediately get your opponent on the back foot. And then you can just be aggressive. Like, you can just skirmish, aggressive and skirmish for free. Because opportunity attacks have disadvantage against you. And if you have halfway decent AC, it doesn't matter. At the start of the turn, you automatically take the search action, no action required. This means that nothing can hide. I feel like it needs one more thing, though. I don't know what, though. Like, the... I don't want to give them movement. They don't need that. They already move 40. They don't need saving throw benefits. Skills are not necessary. Damage is not a big thing, especially if they just get a turn at the start. Like, that's not a problem for damage. We don't want to give them a second reaction. That seems silly. We don't want to make them ignore cover because the feat already does that. Do we just give them proficiency in... Do we just give them every terrain? That seems kind of silly. Do we give them a reaction? That just lets them do something crazy? Like, we don't want to make it so that they no longer provoke attacks of opportunity. That's a bad idea. This needs one more. I don't know what, though. Let's see here. So some other things that we can make here. So we have... trap-based offenses. That can be easily done through spells. Wild Empathy is a thing that I kind of want to just put in. I don't like how they kind of reduced a lot of that to spells, because Rangers don't want to use their spells for stuff like that. While traveling alone, you can move at stealthy at a normal pace. Engaged in our activity while traveling, such as foraging, navigating, or tracking, you move at a normal pace. And difficult terrain doesn't slow your group travel. Yeah, like this is all just movement-oriented stuff. And I think that's fine. Do I want to give advantage? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Any checks made with the seek action for the area. No. You have advantage on survival. And nature checks. When you have advantage on survival checks when in the you have advantage on survival checks when in, not while in, while, I don't want to say targeting the terrain because that's not right. I mean, survival automatically just kind of deals with that on survival checks. Or D20 tests, I should say. Survival D20 tests. There's no checks anymore. It's just D20. It's D20 tests, I believe. D20 tests is ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws. Yeah. Wait. Is associated addition ability check. With it is an ability check. A skill check is an ability check. Okay. So yeah, it's a D20 test then. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll get that. All right, guys. So that's gonna be it for me today. It is 6:30. It means it's time for me to go because I gotta get to work. Thank you everybody for swinging by. Appreciate y'all for doing so. And yeah, I will be back probably tomorrow morning. Hopefully, possibly. We'll see. And till next time, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day.